Oh, what's going on, guys? Happy Saturday Arm Day. I was waiting for a good opportunity to put the camera on because once I set everything up, I put the Sirius radio on my car, and I still have like a, what do you call it? Like the trial with it, because I don't think anybody's ever actually bought in Sirius radio. Everybody has the trial, and then they never have it again. And it was playing some bangers from 2010, which is always great. So one after the next, I'm like, man, this is a good time. And then Taylor Swift came on. I'm like, okay, you know what? Now's it's a good time to shut that down and join you guys. So what's going on? Happy Saturday. Something I want to address really quick, not address, but talk about is supplements. So when it comes to supplements, right? Remember that there is no supplement for real food. Real food is always better than any supplement you're going to find out there. I don't care where it's from or who got it for you. Real food will always beat supplements. To the point where supplements, taking them can actually make you, I'm not going to say smaller, but hinder your progress significantly more than real food would. For instance, after I got sick, I wanted to put some weight back on pretty quick, right? And I try to be transparent with you guys. I changed my supplement program around a little bit to try to make that happen. I found that my weight is going up slower than it was through that entire process prior to when I was on using less supplements, because my liver was healthier and my appetite was better. Lately, I've been pretty nauseous for most of my meals, trying to get them all in, thinking maybe I had to get over the hump, but it wasn't the case. So I lowered my supplements the other day, and I woke up today, my liver's feeling a little better, everything, I'm hydrating, doing everything I can to make it better. I was ravenous today. So my blood sugar hit me a little bit after my third meal. It's 10:55 right now. I ate my third meal around 10:30. And I didn't have time to make turkey burgers. So I had 2 cups of white rice with 14 egg whites. And I was like, man, we're about to go to the gym. The blood sugar was depleting because it wasn't bad. I just, felt it coming on originally, because I was getting hungry for that meal. So my body was like, hey, John, you better eat something. So I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts. And I got 2 Boston creams and one of those coffee rolls. And I wanted to share with you guys, before I finished it all, the best part of the coffee roll, which is that centerpiece. You want some? Take it. No? What, you think that just because you're bulking, everything has to be clean? There's nothing better on this planet than the centerpiece of a Cinnabon or a coffee roll. And I stand by that, man. I stand by that. When you're bulking, the vast majority of your food, rather, should be clean. Should be clean food, because your body is going to utilize. Thank you. There was somebody who let me in. There we go. Your body is going to utilize rice, white rice, significantly better in terms of transporting glycogen and moving muscle around than it will processed sugar. Processed sugar doesn't help much of anything. But that being said, there's only so much clean food that you can eat before the ratio of stomach capacity to calories just doesn't add up anymore for yourself. I'm talking when you're trying to get big. I'm a lean 240 right now. I'm trying to push 250, 260. Body dysmorphia or not, that's, in terms of the grand scheme of things, that's big. I'm not trying to be 200 with abs. I'm shredded to the bone, over 200 pounds. So when you're trying to get big, you need different calorie sources that will take up less stomach capacity. Because when you're trying to up your calories and stuff, things like that, you know, you got to ask yourself what sources are these calories going to come from. And take protein, for instance, right? Some people would say, well, why don't you eat more protein? It's like, well, you know, I already eat about 400 grams of protein a day, 7 days a week. So any more protein than that, you know, my kidneys aren't going to really synthesize it properly. It's just going to, 400 even, it's even a bit much. But it's just kind of how it happens. But anything more than that, my kidneys aren't really going to synthesize to make me more anabolic. It's just going to convert to uric acid. So in terms of trying to up my calories and thinking, let me add more protein, that's kind of out of the table because it's not going to help me. So then I ask myself, all right, where else can I get calories? You have fats and you have carbs left. And iced coffee with caramel. Otherwise, I take it black. But not this time. I was on a roll in Dunkin' Donuts today. So, I digress. You ask yourself, where else can I get calories from, right? You have carbohydrates left and you have fats left. So you're saying, let's look at fats first. Because fats are the most calorically dense nutrients on this planet. In terms of calories per gram, you know, a gram of fat has 9 calories, where a gram of carbs or proteins has 4. And a gram of alcohol technically has 7, but, you know, for a million other reasons, that's going to hinder muscle gaining, not help it. So that's alcohol's out of the question, right? I'm not meal prepping tequila shots. So you look into fats now and saying, hey, why don't I take this giant calorically dense thing and incorporate it into my program? Makes sense to me, right? But then you have to look at what fats actually do in the body. Where fats take a while to break down, and they slow your metabolism down. Unless you're on like a strict keto diet or something, but if you're trying to grow, you wouldn't be on a keto diet. You're trying to lose weight, so it's irrelevant. But in general, fats slow down your metabolism. So when I'm trying to eat more food, push more calories, the last thing I want is to slow my metabolism down. I want that thing running as quick and efficient as humanly possible. You know, so fats are kind of out. So what are you left with is carbohydrates, right? Now when it comes to your carbs, of course there's a lot of different sources of carbs. You have fiber, you have sugar, you have natural sugars, and you have, you know, like starches, basically. And you gotta ask yourself, people work better with different types of carbohydrates. Let me preface with that. Me, myself, I don't eat any vegetables whatsoever. If I do, it's like enjoying peppers with a meal when I'm out to eat or something like that. But in terms of my meal prep, I haven't eaten a vegetable in years. And I mean that. Because for me, well, I believe vegetables are really bad for you. Genuinely unhealthy for you, for the human body, or for anybody. But, you know, that's a conversation for another day. But in terms of what's in vegetables is fiber, a lot of fiber. For me, I found that fiber just messes up my stomach. I just don't feel good when I eat it. I feel bloated. Everything's off. So one day I was trying to figure out what vegetables are doing it for me, what wasn't doing it for me. And finally one day I said, fuck it. I'm just cutting all the vegetables out. Forget about it. I'll deal with it. You know? And I came to find that it fixed the vast majority of my digestive problems. I'm like, that's weird, but all right. And then later on, I did more research and found how vegetables are actually bad for you. And not just taking somebody's word for it, but acknowledging how the human body works and responds with different foods, our large intestine, our small intestine. There's a million reasons. So taking that into consideration, I haven't had them in a long time, and I feel better ever than I ever did when I was eating vegetables, you know? Even just mind fog and everything. There's a million different things that feel better on me. You know, from my brains to my butt. But back to carbohydrates, where fiber's out of the question now, right? So things like sweet potatoes are alright, but from a fiber standpoint, they're not. Sweet potatoes, vegetables, brown rice is the worst. You're looking for your white carbs now. Your white rice, your white potatoes, your pastas, things like that. Those are really good and healthy forms of glycogen, so long as you're going to be using the food properly. Because if you slam in a bunch of white carbs and you're somebody who is predisposed to insulin sensitivity issues or gaining weight easily, bad weight, right? Or you don't have a lot of muscle on you, which is the biggest one. You maybe just don't have enough muscle on you to handle that much food, right? And you slam all that before you go to sleep, you know, it might not do you any favors. You'll have a good workout the next day for sure, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not really going to do you any favors. You know, once you're a seasoned athlete, you can afford to have those carbs before you go to sleep, and they'll do you good. But even so, carbohydrates before bed, from a scientific standpoint, whatever, but when your body has insulin present in the system, in the bloodstream, it sends signals to the brain that says, hey, don't release any growth hormone because we have insulin. And insulin and growth hormone, what they do is they kind of butt heads. They're looking for the same receptors to plug into. So if one is present, the body doesn't really want to produce the other because it's not going to get used. So it's a waste of energy to produce it and to have it floating around there for it to just decay, you know? So even me, before I go to sleep, unless there's something stupid there that I want to snack on, my last meal of the day is always steak. It's always protein, fats, because it stays in your system longer, slows my metabolism down when I'm sleeping, so that the food stays in my body longer, right? And I continue from there. But the carbs I really don't have before bed. If I do, it's rare, and like I said, it's something stupid. But in terms of adding more calories to my diet now, rice is very filling, pasta is very filling, things like that. You know, I'll eat 400 or 500 grams of carbs a day of, call it clean carbohydrates. You know, your rices, your pastas, things like that. Your fruit juices, your fruits. But there comes a point where, like I was saying before, the stomach capacity kind of outweighs the caloric intake, because I'm trying to raise those calories dramatically, but I can't afford the stomach capacity and the longevity it's going to take to burn those up. So I'm left with a bit of kind of a conundrum, if you will, where I need to find you know, a calorie source that's going to digest really quickly so that it doesn't hinder my next meal. Because if it's going to hinder my good food that I need to eat for that next meal, I'm not going to have it. You know, that's what I always call my minimum system when I'm bulking. Is everybody asks me how many calories do I go for, how many clean meals do I eat, how many dirty meals, whatever. But when I'm bulking, I treat it like a minimum system, where the bare minimum of food I need to eat every day are my solid good meals, right? No matter what. My good protein, my good carbohydrates, my good fats, all that good stuff. After those minimums, it's fair game. I have a certain amount of calories I want to eat from, you know, other stuff too, to get the calories in, but if I want a slice of pizza on top of all that, sure, no problem. Want a burger? Sure, no problem. It's fine. But I will never let those fun meals, call them, interfere. Excuse me. Oh, thank you. I'll never let them interfere with my good quality meals, my quote-unquote minimums that I have to get in every day, because those are the ones that are going to make a world of difference in terms of giving my body proper nutrients to do what I want it to do, man, you know? all those extra calories that are coming in afterwards are just kind of fueling it more to do so. But, you know, what's good, or rather, what is any good? A giant tank of gas with no vehicle to put it into, or a vehicle with enough gas to get by, you know? Because if you just have a bunch of sugar, a bunch of garbage, and no actual good food in your diet, it's kind of like having a gas tank without a car. Where you have all this fuel and that's great, but you can't really do anything productive with it, you know? Physiques aren't built on Pop-Tarts and nonsense. They're built on quality ingredients, and sometimes the calories in the Pop-Tarts and the nonsense, you know, help it get to where you want to be. But solely alone built on garbage, you know, you are what you eat. There's a reason Kobe beef is expensive. It's because it tastes better and it's higher quality. You know, a human who eats organic and good quality food, if we were to cut your leg off and serve it, you know, it'll be a much better, healthier quality meat than the person who just eats Burger King all day. And now I'm not saying I'm going to cut your leg off and serve it at the dinner table, but wouldn't you rather walk around with high quality body parts instead of just garbage and nonsense? Wouldn't you expect high quality body parts to respond better in the gym, to work better than just garbage and nonsense? You know? When you break it down to that simplistic of a level, that's better. It's kind of a no-brainer. So, that's what's going on with supplements and food right now. Lowered everything, increased the appetite, and we're going to see how we feel from there. But until then, we're, I don't know, about 20 minutes out of the gym right now, give or take. I'm going to go there, smash an arm day. I'm going to sip on this iced coffee until we're just close enough to where I got to slam the pre-workout. You know, so we're kind of pre-gaming caffeine a little bit, but that's all right. That's all right, man. And on that note, guys, I'll see you inside. Whew. There we are. So, the old school isolation curls. When was the last time you saw somebody doing one of these? Because for me, I start every single arm day with these, besides like my warm-ups I do before it. My favorite thing about these single arm movements is once one arm fails, I can actually use the other one and help myself through it. So we got the 55s here. We got 8 reps last week. Feeling good today. See what happens. Probably get 9, maybe 10 if we're lucky. Throw a partial in there. See what we got. A trick too is you want to always hold the weight on like the back end of it. Just with these. Boom. Yeah, this is looking good. One, two, 3. Take a second. We got 10. At least I think we got 10. I'll know afterwards, I guess. I check and realize I can't count. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. Don't slack on your isolation curls, man. I was mumbled. I said, don't slack on your isolation curls. They're a special kind of mean when you do them correctly. And you're not swinging your whole body into it. You're really treating it like an isolation. Man, they do wonders. Whew. So, 237.6 or 7 today. One of those. Whew. Body's filling back out. I know why it went down. And like I was saying earlier in the video, we were taking some precautions to bring our appetite back to where it was because we tried to overcompensate a little bit, and that caused us to fall a little short in terms of how much food we could actually eat without throwing up a little too much once in a while. So the 237 is looking pretty good though, I will say. I got my veins running back up here. It's a solid 237. Let's see what it looks like post-workout. Oh, okay, there we go. Try to get so I can see too. There we go. Yeah, you can appreciate the taper back over here again. All right, leggies, per usual, they're fine. They're hanging there. All right, yeah, they're filling the back out a little bit, but they're lean. Ooh. Yeah, you can see where that pound went because you got more vascularity up in here, and I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but you get the veins running through here right now too. So that's pretty groovy. It's cool to see that stuff, man. It's like real life Google Maps, you know? Oh. So, that's all I really got for you right now. Workout was solid, workout was good. I'm glad I got all that extra food in because it definitely helped me out today. I could feel that sugar rushing into the muscle. And on that note, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for the answer to the question of the last rest day, which was, why is sugar one of the most anabolic things you can eat? Tune in and find out.